Yeah.
Oh.
All right, I like this.
I know.
It's
you
feeling
do,
good,
baby.
Amanda.
I know. Always the dancing.
Yes. Welcome
All right.
to the Center to the Edge podcast. Blake and Amanda here.
Yes, but we are so excited today because we
Yes.
also have a
Special guest.
I mean, how special guest? I mean, he's one of Radius,
Yeah, he's
right?
not a guest.
But he is new to podcast world.
Yes.
First one.
Hey.
So it's Andrew
Huge.
Roehm is
Andrew
with us
Roehm.
today.
If I had a clapping thing, this would be great to push right here.
I'm sure. I guarantee you that means Andrew.
I'm going to
He's
find
probably
it.
going to find
Yeah,
one later.
I got one
So-
right here. Right, here it is. Here it is.
Oh dear. That's for you, buddy.
Look at that. Look at that. Look how
I feel so
we are so
appreciated.
popular.
So as we are moving into the fall season and really even turning toward birthday, we
Yeah.
wanted to just have moments with our leadership team and be able to kind of have a moment where they get to share a little bit of their story. So our Radius listeners get to know a little bit more about them. And you just happen to be one of our first guests. So we're so excited to have
Yes,
you.
thank you.
And I wanted to start off right off the bat with, how long have you been at Radius? Do you know what year?
I'm real bad at timelines.
I think it was probably 2015 or 16.
I think I'm going to say 2016.
Yeah, we were still in the
Shuffleboard.
shuffleboard club. Yeah.
Still shuffleboard.
So when did we move out of that? Blake always knows that
Gosh,
answer.
I just answered this the other day. I think we moved out of the shuffleboard in late 16.
I think so too. So I think you were early in that conversation. So that's
I believe you.
Yeah, because you took over worship right as we transitioned to. You were doing it a little bit in
In
the
the
shuffleboard
Sunshine
and the
Center.
Sunshine Center. That's
Yes.
where you really
I was playing in the shuffleboard court under Joel.
Joel.
yeah.
And so then you were taken over. You took over in the Sunshine Center.
Yeah, I
that right?
don't recall Joel playing in the Sunshine
No, I don't
Center.
think he did.
Either. Yeah, I think that's
Wow.
true.
So that's been
It's been a
8
while.
years, man. Wow.
Wow, I love that.
That's a long time.
So how did you find Radius? You and Sarah and now Judah. Judah wasn't there in the beginning, but now Judah. I want to make sure we include your family. How
Sure.
did you all find Radius?
I mean, I've always kind of known about it because I've known both of you since
Yeah.
pre-Radius.
Yeah. 2007.
Is there even any days pre-Radius? That's what I asked myself.
It's like prehistory. A little vague.
I mean, I can think of very small amount of time where I haven't been in ministry with
Yeah.
the pair of you. So
Yeah.
kind of when I got in with you guys at FBC was me kind of getting back into it, just ministry in general.
That's cool.
So since back then,
Yeah. That was 2007, I think. And I think we went, you, me, and Aaron.
who I've known for 18 years,
Yes.
we figured out last
That's
week
insane.
Wow.
was the 18-year anniversary of our friendship.
That's awesome. I think we went to Applebee's or Chili's.
Oh my
for
God.
our
It was
first meeting.
Applebee's
Was it Applebee's?
at Parkside.
Yes, I knew it was Parkside. That is Applebee's. That was our first meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And
Must have been apps half off, I'm guessing.
No, it was during the day. It
during
was
the
lunchtime.
day.
Whoa.
I don't know, soup and salad. I
He
think.
was big spending for you.
I was like, I'm gonna pull out the red carpet for this guy. No, that's cool. And so obviously we've done ministry together. We've been connected over the years, and then we came back and started in 2014. We're celebrating 10 years. And then how'd that transition happen?
I mean, when you guys left FBC, Sarah and I stayed
Yeah.
for a while and served under Brennan at Wildfire. I don't remember
Yes,
the
yes.
chronology of the names, but we served under Brennan for a while. And just about that time, Greg Crane and Alberto Bent left main service. So
And they
we
were the
kept-
worship leaders, right?
Yeah, for contemporary and traditional service. And Sarah and I got tapped to kind of step into both of those.
Wow.
So,
I didn't know you were doing both of those.
yeah, I didn't know either. which was, yeah, like most ministry stories, we got burned out pretty quick on it. There wasn't a lot of support for the way we were doing things and the way we were being led through that particular ministry. We had a good team of people, but ultimately it was like it felt like a battery thing. Like as soon as we were tired and as soon as we expressed any, desire for a break or like a pause or some help or support or whatever, they were kind of like, okay, fare thee well.
Okay, done.
And at that point, we had been in ministry. We did some, we did some ministry at First Baptist Indian Rocks. We did leadership in FBC. We did youth group in FBC. So we were, as a couple and as a family, just like burnt out on it, right? So we wanted to go to a gigantic church and kind of disappear for a while, just be fed into, and we felt we needed that to kind of like salvage the connection of our faith because we were feeling very alone, for lack of better phrasing. So we needed time to just like marinate in it and have no responsibility. And throughout all of that, you guys obviously came back, started Radius, and a lot of key connections that we had through, not just through church, but through life, Aaron, Brennan, they kind of started Radius with you. And it was on all of their hearts from day one, prodding, questioning, when are you going to come? Like, obviously, and we had a tough time with it because we like, to your credit, like this was a startup church. It was like from the ground up, required a lot of work, required a lot of building, and we didn't think we had the energy for it. So we didn't want to commit. We didn't want to say, just because all our friends are here, just because we love all these people, we don't have the energy to build effectively. We don't have the attention span or the tenacity to commit to a church that is literally just laying its foundation. So
I think that's fair, and I think a lot of people feel that way. So I understand that.
Yeah, completely.
But it was like,
I probably felt that way.
It was true. It was a huge conflict because everybody we love, and we knew you weren't going to do it in a way that wasn't going to be successful. We knew that when you as a couple feel called to something, you don't do it unless it's like for sure God knocking down your door. So we knew Radius was going to be something. We just didn't think we had the tools to be a part of it at the beginning. I didn't want to build and tear down a stage every week. Because I was tired. So we kind of bucked against the idea for I don't, what seems like months. I'm not sure. And just kept going to X big church in the area. We tried them all. We sat in the back row, literally came in while music was starting, didn't say a word to anybody, and left before the service was over. And that was just to get filled up. But throughout that, Aaron, my best friend, hey, come check it out. You, hey, how you doing? Come see it. Brennan, like, I feel called that you should be here. I'm like, I get it. And then in what I can only describe as like a God-ordained like stroke of genius, you came to us one week and I kind of expressed all of this, and you said, look, we don't want you for your talents. We don't want you for what you can do for us. We don't want you for what you can help make this. We just feel like you're supposed to be here in some capacity, and I want you to come consistently for a month, not do anything, not play, just show up for one service and leave. And after a month, after 4 weeks, we'll see what happens. And it was kind of like 4 weeks turned into 2 months, turned into a year, turned into me playing worship again and not feeling tired about it, which was a big draw. So it was just this serendipitous thing where, like I said, you at the time had said you'd never done that idea before. Planted that seed, like, come just receive, because it was important to us, Sarah and I, to feel like we could just receive and to feel more connected, to feel like a definitive direction, but not so theatrical, a real feet on the ground ministry that cared about the people that was in it was a huge thing for me. So the phrase, like, we don't want you for what you can do, we're more concerned with your spiritual health and your abilities, was a big draw for even feeling comfortable to check it out.
Yeah.
And it kind of lines up. I don't know if you remember this, but in our first lunch together, one of the things I said that bothered me most about ministry is grandiose plans that never get backed up. Things that get said and never followed through on.
Very first meeting, I remember this. Yes, I do.
That is a benchmark thing for me when it comes to churches and in leadership myself. Like, I won't put a goal in front of me that I don't think as a team we can commit to or at least reach. So when you said, come for 4 weeks, we're not going to ask you for anything, the fact that you didn't was it. At first, Sarah was a little skeptical, and I kind of bought into the skepticism of like, we'll get there for a week or two, and then we'll be missing a guitar player. Like, can you
jump in?
Right. So we were real hesitant. Like, how long is this going to last? How long before they ask for something? And we were hyper cognizant of that, and that was one of those put God to the test. Like, if they ask, we're out.
Yeah,
and that's real. I don't think I've ever told you guys that, but the moment in that 4 week period, if anybody asks us for energy output, we're done.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to just being a ghost, a face in the crowd. And nobody did. People were happy to see us. People wanted to pray for us and see how we were doing spiritually, but nobody asked for a darn thing.
That's huge.
So
that's awesome.
Not only you guys, but like everybody. And that spoke to the value of they aren't going to abuse talent. They aren't going to abuse energy and being in ministry as long as you guys have, to have that be a genuine kind of benchmark and foundational thing is huge. And it's taught me how to be a leader. It's taught me that taking a break is fine and ultimately more healthy.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a long timeline of knowing you, serving under you, seeing you grow, kind of growing at the same time, and then that call to come and be for a bit, and that running parallel with like a test that we put God to.
Yeah.
So all of those things kind of converging led us here.
That's amazing.
I think it's so fascinating when you were talking about that there is so many on our ministry teams, even our board, the DNA of Radius has so many similar stories to that experience of burnout or experience of close to burnout.
Yeah.
And
churches
so
kind of
that has really shaped who all of us are and who Radius is and will continue to become.
Yeah.
So I think that was really cool that you shared that.
Yeah, and it's wild because it's happened consistently throughout my life. I've always felt a call to ministry in some capacity.
And it's obvious you have that call in your life.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
It's always felt like batteries, right? The church is the machine and the people are the batteries. And if the church is big enough, they have an endless supply of them, right? So it's always felt strange to me that seems to be the framework of most modern churches, and disappointing in some capacity. Yeah. And to find, it's still shocking to me when people are shocked that we're not that way. Like, we're intentionally the opposite of it. Like, hey man, you seem tired, take a week off.
Yeah.
Like, you not make us, but it's a unspoken requirement that leadership here take several weeks off a year. Yeah. And not necessarily in a row, but like you need a breather, you need somebody else to help carry it. So that's a huge thing. And I've said this both to you over the years consistently, like, this is the first time I've done ministry where I'm not like tired by it, wow. And even if I'm tired physically, there's like a spiritual readiness that's always present on Sunday mornings, on Thursdays when rehearsal comes. So for whatever that's worth, for whatever you feel that means for your connection, for Radius's connection to God, it's not I don't experience spiritual fatigue here, which is new. And I'm 40 years old, and I've been in ministry for 25 years. Yeah, so it's a crazy thing to experience that over the last 8 years, being in charge of a team, which I've I've never felt called to lead a team.
Yeah. Because when you jump back in and finally when you felt that you guys were playing on the team but then as the opportunity arose, you're like, I remember you telling me, it's like, hey, I want to throw my hat in.
It's like I've always felt like an addendum to somebody, and I was comfortable with that, and I was happy with that, supporting the people that I cared about, be it Aaron, be it Joel, whoever. I always felt like I'm going to support them so they can do this thing that they're obviously called to do. And then when the need for the role to be filled was present, like most good Christian stories, like I bucked against it, right? I heard like, you should tell Blake you want to do it. I'm like, oh man, are you sure? And it became like, okay, I agreed privately, like I'll do it until they find somebody else. And then it became like, no, I think I don't want the gimme, right? I don't want your relationship with me or the consistency of us being here for however long it was at that point. I don't want that to mean we are automatically it. I want you to go through the motions and treat us like any other candidate for the position. And as fate would have it, here we sit.
Yeah, which is awesome. And I'm so grateful that you did say yes to the Lord and did step in. I think,
and our church is blessed because that has been the case.
Yeah, and I love that. It does speak a lot, just that you don't feel spiritually burned out. That's a big deal, as we've said. I mean, I think it comes down to this philosophy that we care for who you are more than what you do, and that we see that the responsibility of the church is to care for people and not just burn them out and create a wake of, because we got a goal of
husks.
Yeah, our goal is people.
Right.
Our goal is not necessarily achievement of a number. It's people. So,
and the people in front of us, not just the people that we hope to come.
Yes.
And I think
that's right.
That's been even our story. It's like, but who's in the space? That's who God wanted you to minister. And you're in the space, and we want to minister to you, and you do the same for so many people on your team, and we appreciate that.
Yes, we love that.
I know he's probably got no more time. So as we close out today, Andrew, we're so glad you're on our team.
That's right.
And for anybody listening, if you are interested and you play an instrument or have
banjo, violin, whatever, drums,
you name it.
or consider yourself a vocalist, and other people also consider you a vocalist, I think that's important, then we would love for you to talk to Andrew.
Yes.
We're going to close it out, and thank you, Andrew, for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Congratulations.
On what?
On
10 years, man.
10 years.
Come on.
There's so many things. And his first, you said his first.
My first podcast. Yeah.
Yes, done.
All,
We did it. I made it.
You guys have a great day.